Today I'm with Miss Siddiqui, who's a member of the artsy community and has lived here for the last 10 years. She's also a part of the AMDI, which is the Ardsley Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion Committee, and helped start the Eid celebration in the town of Ardsley. She also volunteers for the Million Meals Project as a part of the PTSA and helped create her own square as a part of the story quilt. So my first question is, can you share a little bit about your background and what inspired you to start creating art?
We moved to Ardsley about 10 years ago. I have three children in the school district. I have a middle schooler and two high schoolers. We moved here to Ardsley primarily because of the schools, and we'd heard wonderful things about it, and also because Ardsley was so diverse and it kind of represented, the rest of the world. And I wasn't wrong. I think we made the right decision for our family when we moved. I'm also a dentist and I work in Valhalla.
So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in the early stages of your journey coming to Ardsley or in general, and how did you overcome them?
Um, in coming to Ardsley, I think because we lived in the city, moving to a suburbs was took a little getting used to. I went from not driving to getting a minivan and driving that around, and home ownership has its challenges, and so there was that, but eventually we overcame those challenges, and we love being a part of this community.
Were there any challenges when you were creating your square for the quilt?
Yeah, my biggest challenge was I'd never sewed in my life. I did not have anybody teaching me. My mother knew how to sew, but we never, I was the youngest of five and she worked full time, and it just never came about where she sat me down and said, let's sew something. So I really had no experience sewing, and so when I agreed to doing the artsy story quilt, I thought I was just going to be helping Sanya with the logistics of the whole event. I didn't realize I actually had to create a square. So there was a learning curve as far as stitching. So a lot of mistakes were made, a lot of gadgets were bought to
Yeah.
try to overcome my shortcomings, but it worked out.
So, well, I guess Sonia had introduced you to the quilt, but what specifically inspired you to join it?
Um, the time that I joined the quilt was because I felt like the world was, everybody was very polarized between religions, political parties. I think everybody was so focused on our differences that I wanted to find some way where we could all kind of come together and speak, just kind of get to know our neighbors and friends, and realize that we're more similar than we are different, and this was a nice way of getting to know community members, and just kind of promoting friendliness and joy, and just yeah, to that effect.
So what impact do you think that the quilt will have on the community and also on future generations?
Well, the quilt is here, right? I mean, Ardsley has a history of quilting, and so they've kind of maintained the quilts from previous years. So I'm hoping our quilt is here to stay, and maybe one day when we look back at all the madness in the world, we'll be like, okay, there were still people holding on to hope, and so yeah, I'm hoping that works.
My last question is, what does your quilt personally mean to you, and how does it represent your story or what you want?
So my quilt, if you see it, it has a diya in one of the corners. It has the crescent, which symbolizes the beginning of Ramadan and Eid. The diya symbolizes Diwali. Then we have a Christmas tree, which symbolizes Christmas, and then we also have the menorah, which symbolizes Passover for the Jewish families in Ardsley, and so it represents Adiman Square, where every year the whole community, well, a lot of people in the community get together and they celebrate each other's festivals and holidays, and that really means a lot to me. Our friends and neighbors to come out and celebrate with us was very dear to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I put that on there.
That's really interesting. Thank you for sharing, and I'll see you at the quilting event.
Yes, I will see you at the quilting event. I look forward to seeing everybody at the quilting event. It's on the 21st
First, yeah.
at 4 p.m. at the Ardsley Community Center. We hope to see everybody there.